Welcome back, guys. Unknown 003 here, coming at you with another Killer Instinct character tutorial. And this time we got pretty much the poster boy of the franchise that has been rocking the ponytail since 1994. And yeah, that's of course Fulgore. So what makes him one of like the best characters in the game is the fact that he has like different teleporting options. He has special move cancels, which is like really good. Zoning, teleporting, he's got pretty much almost everything, including a pretty quick overhead as well. Like roughly a little bit quicker than Jago's, I believe, but just lesser reach. But yeah, we'll dive more into it right now, so let's go ahead and get started with the normals. So simple jab, light punch, there's the medium, there's the heavy. Here's the crouching light, medium, heavy. Obviously an anti-air option. Just do that into a quick shoryu. There's the light kick right there. There's medium kick, which is also pretty decent with range. And then you got heavy, which interesting thing about this one is that if it is near a corner, it'll trigger a wall splat. So you could do like a quick grab, you could continue a combo, something like that. Very simple. So let's go with the light, medium, decent range, and then of course the heavy, which is obviously the best range. It does lunge you a bit forward, so just be mindful of that because it is negative on block. But Fulgore has only one target combo in this, and it's the fact that you can do heavy kick or crouching heavy kick into heavy punch. So that's basically what you get. It allows a follow-up. You could do like a special move immediately, something like that. Yeah, that's basically the premise of it here. Hold on. There we go. So a little something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the normals. You got the air, that's a medium, heavy punch. And then a medium kick is actually a crossover or cross-up option. So yeah, that's basically it for the normals. So now let's get into his traits. So the thing about Fulgore is that if you notice on the bottom left, his shadow meter is more different, obviously, than what you have been accustomed to over the past couple parts with different characters. So his reactor is going super slow right now. One, because we are idle, and two, because we're not really doing anything. So any physical attack is gonna make the reactor go a little bit faster. So we also got like specific specials that will also quicken the spin of the reactor as well. So not really necessary to bring it up or to mention it, but I'll go ahead and mention that the more you damage them, the faster the reactor goes, and the faster reactor goes, the more that little purple line you see above the green, yellow, and red bars it'll go faster, so that way you get more pips of meter. So that's basically how shadow meter works. It will decrease if you're getting hit, or if you get knocked down, if you're idle and you're not hitting your opponent. And it'll also go down if you are using projectile moves and also eye lasers. So that's basically the premise of the reactor there. Because another thing is that if you are at max pips on the meter down there, your controls or your movement speed will go a lot quicker, and you will also have a lot quicker dashing as well. So there are definitely a lot of benefits to having it maxed out, but of course you could always sacrifice it for meter, if whether you want to switch yourself up on the other side, if you want to zone out your opponent, or if you want to just demolish them with the devastation beam that we'll be getting into. So yeah, that's basically the general idea for the shadow, or his little reactor meter. So another trait that he has is that he could do auto triples technically. It is optional, but you get the basic auto double there with like the heavy punch, but you can press it one more time. Bam, you get the additional headbutt afterwards. It does apply with every other button as well, so if you want to do, bam, quick light punch auto triples, that's what the medium looks like, and then so on and so on. It's a pretty cool option to have, especially if you want to kind of like fool your opponent, or if you want to dish out another extra hit. Yeah, you can see the reactor is going crazy right now, but yeah, that's the general idea of his character traits and stuff. So now let's go into the special moves. First things first, we got the simple projectile, down forward punch. Yeah, so nothing too crazy. It does get a little bit more interesting if you have reactor meter. So if you have at least 2 pips, you could actually add an additional or 2 additional fireballs depending if you want to press the button once or twice. So simple fireball, add another one, and there's 3. And yeah, you could apply with either the heavy, medium, or light. Light is of course the slowest, medium, and then the heavy is the fastest. So if you want to do a little bit of tricky stuff like this, there you go. Yeah, and then you could always try to like quicken your way there, but we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, as for Shadow Fireball, it's gonna look like this. You can do a follow-up with it, so long as you're somewhat close. Let me see. Yeah, so basically something like that. Pretty simple. And as for his ender, it's gonna look like this. Pretty much launches the opponent backwards, like far back. But if you are at the corner and you do that same ender, you can do a follow-up, like a quick, just a follow-up launcher or whatever. So something like that. There are definitely many ways to kind of like optimize your combos and stuff with him, so there's benefits to that. So now we'll get into his lasers. This is a down back punch. It is the light version, a very quick low. So you could do bam. Which another thing is, yeah, I'll show the other special normals in a second. But yeah, it's just a super quick low. That's the medium. Pretty much shoots 2 of them. It is also a low. And as for the heavy, pretty much a full screen laser. So this is kind of one of your ways of zoning out your opponent, especially if they're not like jump savvy characters or have teleports. So this would be like a bad matchup for Saberwolf, for example. Now let's go into the Shadow version. So interestingly enough, with the I forgot to mention, with the Shadow versions of the Fireball and also the laser, you will not be sacrificing the reactor spin on the Shadow versions. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like in a combo. There you go. Add some decent amount of damage to the end if you do finish it. So there's that. He also has the air lasers as well. Also laser down back punch. But of course you got to be in the air for that. And then one of the things that I see a lot of people do is that when they do like the quick anti-air, which we'll be talking about in a second, they could do this as well, but we'll show it in a second. But anyways, the heavy version, which is basically the ender, is gonna look like that. Yeah, just it allows for a follow-up. You could do that, for example, like many different ways for you to kind of like create your combos with this. Very cool, right? So there's that. Now let's get into the Shoryu. Yeah, basically the anti-air. Back, forward, and then of course like the Shoryu motion, you know. So it's the light, medium is 2 hits, and the heavy is going to be 3. Simple as that. Obviously more damaging once you do the heavy. And as for the shadow version, this is basically a way for you to kind of dish out the damage that you have delivered. Like potential damage in particular. Yeah, so haven't been finishing a combo, no problem. Because once you... Oh! We'll save that. But yeah. You basically get that, and all the potential damage is gone, and you got a free 50% for it. So, very handy. And of course, if you do end with it, pretty much the same thing. The Ender version and of course the Shadow version of that pretty much do the same thing. So there's that for you. And we'll go into the next one. So that's going to be down forward kick. That's his get close option, his wind kick if you will. You can charge it to increase like the speed of it and also the length. So pretty quick. The sound effects sound pretty badass. That's what the ender looks like. It is a carry ender, so as per usual, it's gonna do a wall spot if you're at the corner. Do a quick grab, however you want to do it. And as for the shadow version, it is very quick, as you can see. Yeah, so that's basically for that. You know, your get close option, very quick. And of course, per usual, this one, if you do the heavy version, it will go through projectiles as well. So you also have that for you. And his last special move, or second to last, excuse me, is going to be his teleport. So your teleporting will change depending on what button you press. This is down back kick. So if you're looking to do the light version, all it is just going to put you on the left side of the screen. If you are already on the left side, all it really does is just like give you a small distance backwards. The medium is going to put you right up close to the opponent, no matter where you are. Yeah, pretty much just drags you closer, that's all. And as for the heavy version, it takes you to the right side of the screen. So, left, right, left, you know, you get the point. So, as for that, obviously, it does nothing for a combo. It's just more of a positioning option that you can do. But of course, if you do the shadow version, it's very quick and just takes you to the other side. It'll catch your opponent off guard. Especially when they are in the middle of like throwing a projectile or something, and you just immediately want to punish them for it. So that's what makes it good. I'd say the negative to it is the fact that it is stationary, or like it stays at the same spot, so they could kind of read what you're doing, and you may be punished for it. So watch out for that. And yeah, so it doesn't have a ender. So it's just something that you can do with like positioning, or if you want to continue the damage output with the shadow version and just do something else in particular. So you pretty much have that. And yeah, the last thing in his arsenal in terms of the special moves is the Devastation Beam. So you need to have all 4 of the, or all 10, excuse me, of the reactor pips right there. And once you do, does a shit ton of damage. you are guaranteed 30% of damage against the opponent, and they have a lot of potential damage to be dished out if you do follow up a combo. So let's do something a little basic. So obviously do this. You could get close. Bam. If you do something simple like that, you are guaranteed 80% damage. But again, it costs at the sacrifice of all of your reactor meter. Not to mention the fact that if you are like really quick on the reactor spin, it will immediately slow it down. So there's a big sacrifice for such damaging options there. But yeah, now let's go into his instinct. So with this basically just allows more, here, actually, let me double check something. Oh, okay, yeah, see, there we go. So this is what makes him really good, which is the instinct. So let's go ahead and wait for this to charge. So with Fulgore's instinct, 1, your special cancels. You can throw out as many of those fireballs as you want. You will not be sacrificing Pip while you have that. And if you are low on those as well, you could also press both heavies and gain a quick one. So there's his teleporting options as well. Yeah, this is one of the things that like makes him like really good, especially in high level play, is that he could throw out fireballs, do a quick teleport, throw your opponent off guard, do it again, and he will not be sacrificing anything aside from the speed of the reactor if he is on instinct. And of course, you could just spam the heavies and just gain more meter. So yeah, Instinct Fulgore is definitely one of the more dangerous tools in the game, which is what makes him arguably top 3 in the game. So there's that for you. And yeah, I think the last thing we need to talk about is what I missed in the beginning, which is his overhead, back heavy punch. You can do a quick knockdown, a pretty quick overhead, but again, it doesn't have incredible reach, but it is quick. And the last thing is his, it's sort of like Jago's roundhouse, but with this one, it's basically the spin cycle for Fulgore. You can follow up with like a link combo opener right there. And then you could also do it as a juggle as well, which is kind of what I like doing personally. But yeah, that's basically Fulgore in a nutshell, guys. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you guys to figure out, since I was a little all over the place. But that is pretty much it for Fulgore. So tune in next week where we dive into TJ combo. But until then, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Fight on, everyone.